Welcome to Faith Fiction and Folklore, where we try not to have the podcast up. I already messed it up. Anyways, we're talking about Billy Carson on the Alex Jones show, talking about the pyramids. And with me tonight, I got Gary. How are you?
I am so tired. How are you?
You're not allowed to be tired.
Well, I'll take some meth later. Be all right.
No, you're not allowed to take meth either.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some coffee.
Maybe some coffee. You know who else is on meth? Billy Carson. So
Well, let's get into it.
let's get into it then.
Methanated he is.
Apparently, Billy Carson knew about these giant skyscraper tall pillars under the pyramid all along. Let's see. Alex Jones has this wonderful, charming title for him. Top ancient history researcher Billy Carson. Yes, the guy who called the Sinaiticus the Sinai Bible is a top ancient history researcher. Yeah, okay. And I'm the Pope, Trevor. I'm the Pope. I am religious and married a Catholic. That makes me the Pope. So
What kind of Pope are you?
Huh?
What kind of Pope are you?
The best Pope. Whatever that is, the best Pope. I'm the popiest Pope that ever poped. Anyway, so top ancient history researcher Billy Carson.
Was that a Pope joke?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Poked a Pope joke at the Pope. You poper.
I'm too tired for this. Anyway, okay.
Just hit play.
Huh?
Just hit play. We'll watch it.
Oh, let me finish the title. It's special. I pulled it up and everything. Whose predictions about hidden structures under the Great Pyramid of Giza complex have been proven true. I seriously doubt this guy predicted there were pillars. He probably said there's something under the pyramids. And now he's going, wow, I was right all along. I so doubt this guy predicted those giant pillars. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Give me a break. But we'll see, though. We're going to hear him out. I plan to mock him, but we're still going to hear him out. So, let's see. To reveal more secrets and lost knowledge about humanity's past. Oh, yes. Mr. Sinai Bible is going to tell us about the secrets of the past. All right.
Give me a break.
Here we
Break
go.
Me a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Yes, sir. All right, let's see how bad this hurts.
It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of times. It's the beginning of times. It's the beginning of the awakening. It's the return of the Christ consciousness. That's what it's the return of right now.
We've heard that phrase a lot. We've been getting that phrase a lot.
You didn't read the Bible.
No, but I keep seeing this. I keep seeing this phrase, the Christ consciousness. Bill Durham, Billy Carson, all these guys keep ranting about it. But what that means in English is, you're God. You're God. You're God on the inside, which basically means there is no God. You're God. These people sell atheism like it's a new packaged Christianity because Richard Dawkins failed.
Well, I mean, the enemy likes to go back to the original.
Yeah, this is just the new angry atheist crap. But they're...
Well, I mean, it's been around since Jesus Christ was even hung on the cross. Christ consciousness, that's been a thing since then.
I don't know. I don't think it was a thing, this particular term, but this idea that you're God has been... Yeah, it's exactly, Jessica. It's God within. It's you can be as God because if you think it, wish it, super duper hard, you can manifest your reality. I don't know if that's even possible, but I think Cody's got a good point. Even if that were possible, it would be like demonic, and there would be some kind of trade-off as far as like manifestation crap goes. But
well, it's also part of the original lie,
Yeah.
He said you can be like God if you eat of this tree.
Yeah. But anyway, so Christ consciousness. Anytime you hear that, just assume the dude's full of crap because he's calling you a god. Anyway.
Gary, you can be Christ conscious.
I doubt it. I'd probably just eat the fruit and get kicked out of the garden. But
just read the gospel. You'll be Christ conscious.
I mean, if by Christ conscious you mean conscious of Christ.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. All right. Let's
And
listen to this idiot.
The devil twists that
Oh, yeah, he twists everything.
into Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Exactly, Jess. Thank you. If everyone is a god, then no one is God. Exactly. This is just repackaged angry atheism, and it's attracting the same poor, dumb bunch of kids that Hawkins and all those other clowns attracted 10 years ago. It's the same crap. It's just now we're talking about pyramids, pillars under the pyramids, and all this garbage. So, anyway.
If we can see that the divide and conquer tactics and all these wars that they put up
under it, and years ago they found.
All right, so we're just gonna start here. That thing before was just them like replaying, you know. Just it's like he always does. Yeah, he always does like a 2 or 3 minute intro, and then you have to listen to that 2 or 3 minutes again later in the video. So I just try to skip that usually. So this should be the actual beginning of it, and he's talking about the pillars under the pyramids and all that.
All the good YouTubers do that nowadays.
Yeah, I know. It's just frustrating, but that's all right. We'll see what old Jones has to say here.
Other structures, and they're always trying to keep people from looking into it. Here is Billy a few years ago talking about this, and he was on a few years ago with us talking about it, and is being vindicated. So here's a short clip, and then we'll go right to him.
The Great Pyramid at Giza and that plateau is a multifunctional platform or plateau. The Great Pyramid is a multifunctional stone computer, number one. It used to be a power generator, so it generated power as the water used to flow underneath it from the Nile. It's now meandered very, very far away. But back then, it ran right up to the pyramid, and the empty tubes have actually been inside of underneath the pyramid are still there where the water used to flow. When you have running water underneath crystal magnetized granite, you create something called physiostatic electricity.
I'm so good. Can I just say how right I am? Can I just, relish in my own smartness? No. What did I say at the beginning of this? What did I say? I said he's going to say some kind of dumb approximation of what they found, and then he's going to go, I knew it all along.
Well,
no mention of the Nile.
I think he sounded pretty smart there for a minute.
Yes, because he used big words.
Big words.
But notice, like, this is like rapid-firing bullcrap. This is like taking a giant cow turd, wadding it into a ball, chucking it against the wall, and then when part of that dingleberry sticks to the wall, you're like, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it all along. Basically, he just threw out a bunch of crap, and like 2 things were right. But he predicted it the whole time. Notice what he said. He said, oh, it's a computer. The pyramid is a computer. And it's a power station. And it's a UFO. And it's a water turbine. And they made, cornmeal in it or whatever.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have you seen Mr. Beast's video on the pyramid? Mr. Beast. You know who Mr. Beast is, right?
Yes. Yes.
One of the greatest YouTubers.
Yeah.
Anyways, he actually went to the pyramids and spent 100 hours going through the pyramids and with one of the Egyptian guys that oversees the whole excavation of all this.
Mm-hmm.
And his video was released like a month before the photos were released.
Oh, really?
And they basically kind of disproved everything, if you will.
Oh, they already disproved the pillars?
But it was conveniently released right before everything else that was released. It was very interesting. I could pull up Mr. Beast's video if you want.
Yeah, we can maybe here in a minute, but
maybe.
Let's read what Jessica says. Like psychics, and then Jen says yes. Yeah, that's right, exactly. It's like, I'm getting an M. M, Mary, Martha, Marie. Marie says hi. That's what's happening. It's just rapid firing a bunch of crap because they knew that the tomb thing was garbage. And that's kind of obvious. Like, really, you're going to build a giant mountain of mud bricks just for a tomb? Shut up. But
well, they worshipped their pharaohs and stuff back then, didn't they?
Yeah, so they say, and they probably did, but it's still a little excessive in practicality. And why would the next guy build a giant mountain for the previous dead guy?
Because that was their dad.
Maybe if that was their dad, but it wasn't always their dad. There's like a transition of power thing. So anyway, so it never made sense that these things were just tombs. So whatever else they are, I mean, it's not that.
Yeah. Just said, someone you lost is reaching out to me from the other side. Someone is connected to the letter D.
Exactly. It's that tactic. I'm getting a D. I'm getting a D. I'm getting a D, knowing that D is a very common name. Like if you did like a little bit of research on Google and you found out what's the first letter of the most commonly used name out there, like J, then you could repeat Jess's sentence and have like a 60-70% chance of getting somebody who's lost somebody with the name J, with a name that starts with J.
Or just get on their Facebook real quick and see.
Or you could like research everybody who's going to be there. Say you got an audience of 60 people and you look up all their friends on Facebook and then claim, whatever. But yeah, this is an old school tactic. So yeah, you say somebody has a name. You look up say the most common name used at the time is J. Then you go, someone you lost is reaching out to you from the other side. Someone who is connected to the letter J. Like, you don't even have to say that the name starts with it. Like, if there is a J in their name, or if they liked a jade emerald, or if their favorite food was jam. You know what I'm saying? And then people will jump on that by themselves. It's just like this broad parameter, and then, you say you've predicted the future after that.
Yeah, you're right, Jen. She's talking about Mr. Beast's video, probably.
Yeah, go ahead and read her comments. Yes, sir.
Jess said right before that, someone you lost is reaching out to the other side. And then Jen said, yep, I've also believed there's tunnels under the Sphinx. But that dude that done a tour with Mr. Beast would close it off and then open it. He has to say who makes a move there. Yeah, because he like owns all that stuff over there.
Yeah.
He has a say in who goes underneath the tunnels or underneath the pyramids or... Yeah, That's a good point, Jen.
Yeah. I'm just amazed Billy Carson, like, InfoWars has the nerve to even post this clip and think people are going to not realize what he's doing. But I don't know, maybe some people don't. I don't know. But
it's just back, going back to the Almond Hillman thing. People believe. You post something on TikTok or Twitter or X or Facebook or something, several times out of 10, people are going to believe it.
Yeah.
Even though it's a 2-minute clip.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's the bottom line is he rapid fired a bunch of theories. He got one of them right, that it looks like it was a power station. At least that's what they're claiming. And so now he predicted the future, when that's been one of the theories for forever. And he's not even explaining how it works. Like the other guys who were talking about it being connected to the F sharp. They're talking about, there's something to do with the vibrations traveling up the pillars and the structures because the vibrations are connected to the bedrock. And he's saying, oh, the Nile ran under there. That means it was a power station. They didn't find any evidence of the Nile running under there. So they were saying that it was like connected to like the rotation of the earth or something. And the vibrations from the bedrock was what was creating the power. That was what they were claiming. Don't know if that's true, but that's what, from what we watched last week, that seems to be what they were claiming. Unless you heard something different, because that's what I heard. So we're ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Jen said, did you hear they found a pyramid in Israel?
I didn't hear that.
I did not hear that.
Huh. That's interesting. Okay.
We'll have to look into that.
There you go. All right, here we are. Let's keep going.
Those ions rush up into the chamber, and they would go into the Grand Gallery. The Grand Gallery used to have resonating rods. Now, the rods have been removed, but the slots where they went up the Grand Gallery are still there till this very day. Then that energy would be pushed into the King's Chamber, which you've been in with me, right? We meditated in there. Inside the King's Chamber, now that area is like a fusion chamber. and the energy would shoot up through the top, through the apex, and now you have wireless energy. Nikola Tesla tapped into the same exact understanding of how that worked and duplicated it with the Wardenclyffe Tower. Now that wireless energy would transmit around the area, and the crystal granite obelisks would capture it. And then if you had something called a JED, a DJED, it looks almost like a Tesla coil with a cable coming out of it. You'll see it in Egyptian hieroglyphs. It's connected to light bulbs and other technologies, electric gold plating. You can then power it wirelessly from the ambient electricity that's been transmitted from miles away from the Great Pyramid. That's just one purpose. Another purpose, when you look at the way that the Great Pyramid is designed in the Queen's Chamber and then you have the King's Chamber, well, water was set to rush down and into the Queen's Chamber, and with the chemistry and also the metallics down there, you can see how there would be some form of electrolysis that would occur.
I agree, Jen. Yeah, I think he got the Tesla thing right. I know that's a really common idea that, a lot of this stuff was based on Tesla. Like Tesla rediscovered this ancient technology, basically. When you get into the mechanics of what he's saying about this being like determined by water running into the pyramid, though, that's not what these current guys are claiming. So, but he did get the Tesla thing right. Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that has this hypothesis. Engineer
Yeah, it does make sense for the free energy thing. Yeah.
Christopher Dunn had the same exact hypothesis as me. I just found out about maybe a month ago when I finally talked to him on my podcast. So this electrolysis would extract hydrogen from the oxygen, the H2O, and then you have a hydrogen chamber. So now what's interesting about that, the way it's connected to the shafts that lead up into space, when you look at the pyramid alignment with the stars on certain millennial alignments, you find out that it aligns with Orion, it aligns with Aldebaran, it aligns with Pleiades, it aligns all these star systems. And what is the frequency that we transmit information on right now from a standpoint of trying to connect with ET? We transmit on the hydrogen frequency because it's the most widely abundant frequency in the universe. So I believe in my hypothesis, I always say hypothesis versus what I read, is that these shafts would shoot the hydrogen beams out towards those stars on certain particular alignments with information, data encoded into the hydrogen. In other words, an update on this breakaway civilization. It was a communications device, long-range communications to other stars. And then it also is a star.
Okay, so I kind of tuned out there for a second, but let me see if I understand what he's saying. So this thing talked about, so it was an energy, a Tesla power generator, let's say, but it's also a computer, and it's also something that's communicating with aliens. Did I get that right? Because this is a very versatile triangle.
He also did say that it was part of his own hypothesis.
Oh, I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff that this pyramid's doing.
Oh, yeah. The Egyptians had it down.
Well, I'm just saying it goes back to my scattershot idea. You just throw a bunch of different stuff, and if one thing sticks, then you're right.
Yeah,
so.
You're right. Yeah.
Still doesn't explain the Brandon Biggs ear thing, but I guess I have to let that go now. So, okay, so make sense of the free energy thing. Jen says, we talked about this before, quartz, crystal, copper, granite, water, you're getting something. Okay, and then Jessica says, so was the area surrounding the pyramids much greener, and get more rain, and toss in gold, silver? Yes, Jessica. So
it probably was.
They say that.
Flood.
Yeah, they say at one point in time that it got a lot more rain. But my point with what I was saying earlier is the rain and how much water's there doesn't really matter, because the case that they were making last week was that the pyramid pillars and the foundation that the pillars were on top of, that was connected to the bedrock, and it was actually like literally the rotation of the earth and the vibrations from the earth that were traveling, like, because it was a frequency. This is like the music of the spheres theory, where you're getting a certain frequency from the earth, which was F sharp, and by creating that, they were somehow able to harness that energy from the literal vibrations of the planet, and then they were using that Tesla mechanism to transport that energy out. as far as like water being involved, there's nothing from what they were saying last week. That doesn't have anything to do with it, as far as their like water being related or the Nile being somewhere or them getting more or less water at that time or what have you. So Jess is saying, so they got energy from the tectonic plates. I don't know if it's the tectonic plates. They just said the ground, like the bedrock. So I presume the tectonic plates. So yeah, they were saying that the bedrock, as it shifts and moves, that energy was getting transferred up into the center of the pyramid and then somehow being captured and projected out to other areas. So yes, that's actually the term they used. It was geothermal energy. That was a term they used.
Geothermal energy.
Energy from the planet.
Oh.
Geoplanet. So yeah, that's basically what it was. It was like geothermal energy. Only it wasn't like heat. They were literally using the vibration. The vibration correlated with F sharp. And somehow they were able to take that vibration and create some kind of generator with it and then transfer that energy out to people. So that's the theory. Wow. Water has nothing to do with that. So.
Okay, so Jen says, so it makes you wonder what he was doing back then.
I don't know what we were doing, man. Probably had flying cars and all sorts of crazy stuff. I think I said this last week, but I think what we're seeing as far as like the UFOs and all that stuff, I think this is some ancient tech. So I think that they had a completely different way of understanding energy and how to transfer it, but they don't want people to know because they want to be in charge of everything, because they're micromanagers. That's my opinion.
1%ers.
Yeah, British billionaire banker types, the 1%.
The elites.
The old families, the old guard, let's say. Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's just my opinion, and I could be completely wrong. I don't know. But, yeah, that's basically it. So, are there any
writing deeper in the pyramid?
People were claiming that there's a library under one of them and that we could possibly get access to they're hoping, but there's no actual specific evidence to say this is actually going to happen. But they're hoping to get like pre-diluvian, pre-flood writings in one of these chambers if they can ever get to them. Don't know, but that's what they're hoping. I wouldn't hold my breath, but
I'm holding my breath.
Well, don't do it for too long. I need you. My brain ain't sharp enough to carry this thing by myself today. So, diluvian means pre-flood.
Diluvian?
Yeah, diluvian.
Oh, I had my own personal theory on it.
Go for it.
It's about the Tower of Babel.
Mm-hmm.
What if the Tower of Babel was the original pyramid, and God shot it down, and then the Egyptians was like, "Oh, well, we can do it one better."
Mm-hmm.
It was just a thought I had, just my own personal.
Well, it could be.
theory.
I think some people have said the Tower of Babel was a ziggurat.
Yeah,
so,
ziggurat.
Yeah.
So what if the pyramids are just bigger, better ziggurats?
Hmm?
What if the pyramids are just bigger, better pyramids?
Well, I kind of like the theory that somebody said in the videos we watched last week, where the smaller ones are actually us after the flood replicating what was built before the flood. I think that's kind of I think that's kind of a neat idea. So, Jessica Lambert says, "Are the writings diluvian?" Jen says, "Yeah, I can believe when the Atlanteans got destroyed, the survivors moved to Egypt." I think so too, and I wonder if they moved there because those pyramids were still standing, and it was kind of like a reminder of what was before. I kind of think that might have been what happened. And then Jess says, "Oh, then just say pre-flood, smarty pants." Love you, dear.
And then Jen said, "Yeah, or Babel people had to go somewhere."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's see. Let's see what else old Carson has to say.
Map. When you look down at Giza from above, you see the Great Pyramid, the other two pyramids, and you see the temples around. and you can actually connect those with lines and then make circles, concentric circles. You'll get the interplanetary map of our solar system. You'll get the sun in the middle, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and you'll even get Mars. And when you take the NASA map of our solar system and you overlay it, it matches down to the millimeter. That's crazy. It even matches to the astronomical unit, which is the distance from the Earth to the sun. That's a measurement unit to count distances in the vastness of space.
And then you go to the Nazca lines in South America. You go all over the world. All of them basically say the same thing. And so if you go back to what Plato said and others, and they keep, he said where other civilizations were, and they go, oh, no, Troy wasn't on this island, and they find the whole thing later. And Plato said this was all going on. So it looks like what we have there in Egypt is one of the big bases around the world. Now they're digging up giant pyramids in China. They're trying to hide it. The Egyptian government's been trying to hide this stuff. And then remember, they were going to go in the king's chamber, and all these they found in the last decade. They thought there'd be tombs. When they get in there, they find huge copper coils going in, and they find all these new types of communications that they've never seen before that are instruction manuals. So this is what they said thousands of years ago was going on, and it just keeps adding and adding and adding. It's not just this new ground-penetrating radar. That just fits in everything else that's been found. So Billy Carson's been doing a great job for years. That clip you just saw was from 9 months ago before this new information came out. He was on with us in August of last year talking about all this. So it's not like we're just looking at this and saying, oh, look, it's real because of this. You can say, oh, well, their scans are wrong. No, this is what they've been saying for thousands of years. So Billy, forbiddenknowledge.com, Forbidden Knowledge on X. Great to have you here, my friend. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start by, first of all, thank you for having me back, Alex. I really appreciate your show, man. The quality of your work is unmatched. I'd like to start with, let's debunk the debunkers, because there are some, Zahi Hawass out of Egypt immediately, before looking at any data, tried to say, oh, no, we don't have any evidence of this. And so right away, he tried to hush it and oppress it like he does with everything, probably so he could steal the information and put his name on it later, and label it an actual discovery so he can get paid. However, so critics are trying to say that, synthetic aperture radar or SAR radar can't scan that deep beneath the Earth, because we're talking about 2 kilometers beneath Giza. So, but they don't understand, this isn't standard SAR technology. It's like it's unlike any other ground penetrating radar that we've ever seen. It's called Biondi's SAR technology, named after the Italian researcher and scientist Biondi. The SAR technology actually employs something called X-band microwaves that have a 10 gigahertz band at 3 centimeters wavelength. Now, this allows it to penetrate from a satellite in space all the way down deep beneath the Earth. But what it does is it doesn't penetrate through the rock. It picks up the vibrations that are happening deep, deep, deep underground. And from the vibrations, right, it detects the subtle surface vibrations and minute shivers, which triggers a resonance response. And this allows it to go deep into special voids that nothing else can ever get to, below or even beneath walls. And as it rides back up these vibrations, it allows it to read all the actual structures and empty spaces. So it sends the data back to the computer, and now it becomes this super advanced level of Doppler. And now we can see everything going on beneath there, and what's down there is exactly what was predicted in my book 5.5 years ago, The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, which I have on page 34.
We're going to have to do something on these Emerald Tablets. They keep bringing that crap up. And I don't know anything about those guys. But if it's anything like the Sinai Bible, which is actually the Sinaiticus, that's probably going to be very embarrassing. Yeah. We've looked it up a couple times, but I'm not...
We never did a deep dive on it.
Yeah, we need to do a deep dive on those. But yeah, bottom line, though, is he did not predict crap. He just scattershot a bunch of theories he's read 100 times, and one of them was partially true. All right, let's catch up on comments here.
Jen said...
Yeah, you read them. I'm going to go get him a drink real quick.
Okay. I think some... The people stayed in Antarctica because I also believe they have a pyramid there. Why we cannot go there or fly over it? And Jess said, "Is there an on switch? Because free energy would be really great right now. I want free energy." Hey, Cody. How are you? I'm out for tonight, but Gary, how does it make you feel that Alex is tight with Billy there?
It hurts my heart.
Oh, hurts his heart.
It hurts my heart. Was there anything else for me, or was it just Cody being mean?
Jen said Billy is too prideful for my taste. And then Cody said he likes to make salacious claims for sure. Billy. I think he's talking about Billy there.
Yeah.
And then Jess said, what are the tablets called again?
The Emerald Tablets.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog.
They're in emerald, which means they're ancient and have hidden knowledge instead of somebody just wasting time. But they're on emerald. That means they're important. Anyway.
Now we're going to be like Sonic and chasing after emeralds.
Exactly. Well, my tablets are on rubies, so suck it. So, all right. Yes, Cody. I am extremely disappointed in Alex Jones. I doubt his ability for discernment has been called into question.
Cody, are you still here? I have a surprise. I was going to show you guys this evening before you leave.
Yeah, Cody, you picked a lousy day to do other stuff. Come on, man.
I brought it with.
Oh. All right, you might have made a good call, Cody. Stay away. Run while there's time.
Do you want me to read one?
Oh, please no.
Are you sure?
Cody said, "Yep, he's still here." It's a book of dad jokes. Run.
What's the difference between a bad joke and a dad joke?
Enlighten me.
The first letter.
I hate you.
Thank you.
Jen says, I wear emeralds every day and rubies. Yep. And so if you inscribe something on them, then someday there will be another Billy Carson who thinks you have ancient hidden knowledge. So, yeah. Jess is saying...
Emerald tablets are connected to the Atlanteans?
Yeah, apparently they're connected to the Atlanteans. Wouldn't surprise me if, I don't know, if they're real, that would be funny, but I just kind of doubt it. I mean, it just sounds like something somebody would say when they're trying to trick people into thinking it's important. But if you're an Atlantean or whoever, why would you write anything on emerald?
Because it's cool.
What if you get a typo? Like, what if they forget the ancient equivalent of a comma? There ain't whiteout for that, and congratulations, your typo just cost $1 million or whatever their currency was back then. It's just a stupid, impractical idea.
What's the Emerald Tablet of Thoth? What is that?
The Emerald Tablet of Thoth. Yeah, Thoth is some Egyptian god, deity thing.
Oh.
Jen says, I can't. They are in strands. Well, there you go.
16-inch strands.
There you go. You melt them down, maybe, or I don't know. However they did it.
A chisel, probably.
Emerald Tablet of Thoth. Yes, I believe that's what they're talking about. 16-inch strands. They are beads. Are those what you're talking about? Yes, I believe it's the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Yeah. We've looked that up. That term sounds correct. Jess says...
I can't say that long word.
Jess says this is a pseudo-historical book, not a real artifact, written by Maurice Doreal in the 1940s or early 1950s. Yeah, that sounds about right. Did Maurice Doreal get suicided by the CIA? Just asking for a friend. I don't know. Everything's the CIA. It's my Rorschach test. Anyway.
Yeah, everything is from the
Okay. Cody says, if you want something to stick around forever, make it out of something precious. Yeah, but that's also why they had parchment, because it stuck around for forever. Dried animal hide. That's what they used to write that stuff on, and that was expensive enough by itself. So, yeah, that's what I got off the internet. Well, you're probably right, and I imagine Maurice, whatever Duriel, probably was conveniently murder-suicided in a car, shot in the back of the head 12 times, and then called it a suicide. That tends to be the pattern with these cults and fake artifact things. And Cody says, just playing devil's advocate. LOL. Yeah, well, you did all right. That's a good question. It would, maybe somebody would think that if you melted down a bunch of emeralds or whatever, and yeah, I guess maybe you could. It would be stupid, but if somebody had infinite resources and time, perhaps somebody might have tried it once, maybe. But you know what would have happened, though? Somebody else would have found it and said, oh, look, a bunch of emeralds, and then remelted them down and turned them into jewelry. So Jen could wear them, in beads. And then Jen goes, no, not mine.
Jen, you have melted down tablets.
She goes, yes, I wear them. So, yeah, somebody would have said, oh, great, if I melt this down, I'm going to get so much money. Yeah, it wouldn't have lasted. Anyway, all right, we got to wrap this up. It's been way past 30 minutes. We need to move on to the next
thing. I don't have any wrapping paper.
So if you want to watch the rest of silly Billy Carson, go to alexjonesband.video, and it'll be there.
We might put it in.
I would tell you the title, but since I already read it, it's so ridiculously long, you'll never remember it. So just go to band.video and type in Billy Carson. I'm sure it'll show up. If you must know what this prophet said. So.
Oh, he's a prophet?
May as well be.
Oh.
I'm detecting something that starts with the letter B.
Jen's going to wear her beads with pride.
Well, there you go. All right, Trevor, you want to close this out, sir?
Thank you for watching this episode of our show.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.